Good evening and welcome to It's All Black and White TV. And this is the match review from yesterday's Carabao Cup tie. I've got Roly with me. How are you, Roly?
I'm feeling positively Champions League and a little Carabao Cup.
Okay, lovely. Okay, so if you like what you see, please do smash that like. It really does help the channel up the search. So if you haven't yet smashed that like, please do. That would be absolutely fantastic. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, come and smash the subscribe button. Come and be part of this fantastic community we have here. And also that bell notification that tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. If you want to become a member, it's 99p. Just click the join button. And if you want to make a donation, you can do so in the chat by clicking on the dollar sign as well. So, right, okay. Let's grab into some comments before we get into it. And Holly was in and she says, "Hi, Tony and Rolly. What a fantastic performance and result. Our supporters were brilliant as well." Yeah, absolutely, Holly. Absolutely. And the supporters were fantastic as usual. 7,000 of them as well. Paul Gardner, he says, "Good evening, Paul." He says, "What a performance from our C team. Haha, how are the lads?" Hey, do you know what? Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Bia says, "Evening, Tony and Uncle Rolly. Good evening, Bia. Hope you're well." Gary says, "Hi, Tony Rowley. Happy?" Yeah, absolutely. If you're wondering why we're doing a show so early, it's because I'm still off work with COVID at the moment, so I'm still testing positive today. Paul says, "Hello, everyone. Fine, mate. Hope you're well." Yeah, well as can be, actually. It's getting there. Graham Story, good evening to you, Graham. He says, "We smashed it. Hall and Livermento were brill." Absolutely, mate.
Yeah,
They were
we were.
absolutely fantastic. We will get into all of this. Gary says, "The best chat of the night was you seen United now, FR4. Yeah, well, we done it last season when we beat them at St James's Park, and rightly so. I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, that's exactly what it is. Mad Max says, "What a glorious, magnificent win that was. The Man U fan meltdowns online have been golden." Yeah, I mean, look, absolutely they have. I mean, I've looked at a few of them, and obviously they're just not happy at all, are they? And look, the end of the day, um, that you know, yes, they want to blame the manager for it, and the manager takes responsibility as any manager would take responsibility for what's happening. But at the end of the day, what I'm sick of seeing is I'm just sick of the media blowing it up all the time. Look, give us some credit. Give us some credit. Gary says, "Have you considered the World Cup 2026? Half the England team could be toon players." Do you know what it is? That is a very good shout because I mean, look, it could well be. Who knows? I mean, Lewis Hall could be the full back, so could Livramento. And the thing is, Lewis Hall's our player at the end of the season because we have an obligation to buy him. It's not like an option; it's an obligation. So, the end of the season, he could actually become our player. Gary says the meltdown on TikTok was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it was. I mean, last night I did the show last night. I did the Carabao Cup draw last night. Bless you, Rolly. And yeah, so I had a lot tuned in for that. I've had nearly 3,000 views for that, so absolutely fantastic for the channel. Right, okay. So then, look, let's get into it anyway. So we saw the lineup come out, and this was Newcastle's lineup: Dubravka in goal, Livramento, Kraft, Dummett, Target, Hall, Longstaff, Willock, Ritchie, Joe Linton, and Gordon. So we saw 5 fullbacks in that team altogether. And I think there was a bit of guessing how we were going to set this up. Obviously, it was Livramento, Kraft, Dummett, and Hall across the back 4. So that was 4 fullbacks, 2 fullbacks centre off. Now, the surprising thing is I thought Target would have been on the left wing to start with. But looking at it, he was in centre midfield. So that was a surprise one. And we saw the Man United team, which consisted of Hanana, Lindelof, Maguire, Mount, Martial, Reguilon, Garnacho, Casemiro, the captain, Dallo, Anthony, and Hannibal. So, and they had a strong bench as well with the likes of Fernandez, Rashford, So that was their team. So anyway, the game starts. Okay, yeah, they had one shot from Casemiro, which was easily dealt with by Dubravka, in all honesty. Um, but it didn't take long for it to get into a stride. And look, Livramento got the ball off Ganacho, um, and went down the right wing, got past Mason Mount with ease. I don't know what Mason Mount was doing. There was nothing there from him. He didn't offer anything. He got down the pitch, and he just put a lovely weighted ball to Mickey, and it was beautifully weighted. And there was Mickey holds off Dallo, um, and he puts the ball past Inana, who then does a Jude Bellingham celebration style, which um, I don't know what he's quite doing Inana, but um, but it's going all over the internet that he's doing the Jude Bellingham. But he's
That
not as good
was
as Jude Bellingham,
I
though.
think that's more to do with the trouble he's had with his car. Looked like he was driving a car, and that's
Yeah,
because he's the trouble he's had with not telling the police who was driving his car at one point. And you
who
forgot to
Inana?
mention, oh no, Miggy when he celebrated.
No, I'm not on about that. I'm on about Inana.
Oh, sorry, but
When he went down, when Miggy scored, and he was like that. That's the Jude Bellingham celebration. That's what we're on about. That's what's going all over the internet.
okay, but Miggy's celebration I thought was great. But you forgot to
Yeah.
mention that Matt Target went off with a hamstring in the second minute,
Yes, I did. Sorry about that.
which
Yeah.
is why Miggy was on the fit pitch.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that's right. Yes, it was. I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah. I
No,
mean,
right.
look, that was unfortunate for Target. I mean, look, so cruel to go off in a couple of minutes into the game. It just looked innocuous, but he went off, and
Looked a bad one as
I
well.
felt for him. I felt for him. And I just thought, here we go again, another injury again. But as I
It
say,
looked a
look,
bad one as well.
it meant Mickey came on, and 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 Mickey got his goal, and he took his goal really well. Um, and look, to be fair, Man U, I didn't think offered a lot after that.
Can I
Um,
just point out one thing in that goal, which I thought was excellent? That space opened up in the middle of the goal.
yes,
Gordon's run from the centre to the right, dragged the defender, which left plenty of space for
Livramento.
Memento to slide the ball into Miggy. I thought that's just such a good run because they've got to track him, and
Yeah,
it just opened that massive hole. Just a lovely pass by Livramento for Miggy to actually score. So I mean, that run was almost worth an assist. It was that
yeah,
good.
yeah, absolutely. Um, Look, there was a there was a foul on Dummett in the middle of the park, and the ball had actually stopped. And Longstaff looked at the referee, take the quick free kick. As soon as Longstaff took that free kick, there was 5 Man United players around the referee. Instead of getting back to defend for that team, they were too busy giving the referee verbals why he let this free kick go. The ball, acting like a bunch of 9-year-olds, as Gary Neville quite rightly said, and it was ridiculous why they were going on like that. Um, you know, I mean, look, if I go back before that phase, Hannibal Lecter, um, he actually fouled Longstaff, which was a bad foul. Yes, it was a yellow card, I suppose. You could have probably said it's borderline a red card, but it was definitely yellow. But then a couple of minutes later, he does a foul on Kraft, and how's the referee kept him on the field? And I just thought, come on, referee. This even the commentator said this should be a second yellow and off. Even Gary Neville said he should have been off. And he was walking a tightrope, walking a tightrope. And I thought, how the hell is Hannibal Lecter still on this field, He was just an annoying little shite all night, that guy was. Horrible player, horrible player. He's
Yeah,
rubbish.
Harry on and Casemiro as well was just as bad.
Yes,
He
yeah,
was lucky to stay on as well.
yeah. But anyway, going back to the dumb, yeah, so we got that free kick quickly, and like I say, the Man U players surround the referee. Um, and Willock passes it to Mickey. Then Mickey's going down, and then I mean it was clever play from Mickey as well. I mean he actually put the ball between the two defenders. I think it was Dallo and it was Casemiro, and he put the ball inch perfect in between them to Willock. And then Willock got his crossover, which was then headed out by Harry Maguire, only as far as 19-year-old Lewis Hall, who just happens to put in a lovely sweet volley to make it 2-0. And I'll tell you what a well taken goal from Lewis Hall that was. I mean, it was fantastic. And not just the goal was fantastic, but also the celebration to go with it as well. Apparently, it's been measured. He actually slid just over 8 yards in total on his knees. I mean, look, what a goal from this young man. He was absolutely terrific last night. I thought he played well down the left-hand side. And I actually got my wish last night as well, because I've only been shouting for this over a year now, and I have been saying this for over a year. I want to see Mickey play left. And what did we see? Mickey play left last night. And who was devastating last night on the left? Mickey was. He was better on the left than he was on the right. And I've been saying that for over a year. And I finally saw it last night. And I thought, if anybody has ever said to me, oh, you want to see Mickey on the left? Now you know why I've wanted to see Mickey on the left, for that reason alone. So I think now there's a selection headache there for Eddie Howe. He may have to play Gordon on the right wing and put Mickey left, because I'll tell you what, as I said to you, Mickey is devastating on the left. And I was spot on right with that as well last night.
He is he's a lot more direct because he doesn't cut in as much.
Absolutely.
He doesn't have to get it onto his right foot. Though saying that, against Wolves, he did put a cross in with his right foot. So he's obviously working on it. But I think there is a selection dilemma, because I think the selection is, with Gordon playing so well, do you move him, switch him on the wings? Because he's been devastating as well. So it's a headache that every manager wants.
Yeah, but Gordon can play right as well.
Yeah, and I know it's just about to say Gordon can play right as well, but it's an interesting dilemma.
Yeah. And then after that, Man U had a little bit of the ball. I mean, we saw Dallo fizz one just wide. Wasn't troubling Dubravka at all. Then Mason Mount hit a shot, which Dubravka saved quite comfortably. If he beat Dubravka from there, that would have been a poor goal to concede, but he didn't. Dubravka put it away out for a corner. Then we go in half time, 2-0 up. And you're thinking, wow, this is easy, you know. Obviously, the fans giving Ten Hag the boo on the way off on the team. You know, and then I don't know if anybody noticed this beforehand, but when the teams came out of the tunnel, and when Ten Hag was walking out the tunnel, he was clapping at his own fans. How many fans did you see clap back at Ten Hag? I didn't see many. I saw about one or two. The rest of them just sat there as if to say, Ant, we don't like you. So you can see the toxicity in that club already, and you saw that before the kickoff. But second half starts, and obviously they make a change. They bring on Wan-Bissaka and Amrabat. And Wan-Bissaka's got pace. We know he's got pace. You know, I think he's a good right back in a way. And he cut that ball in. I thought was out actually, but when you saw the replay, it wasn't. It was well in, and it's his pace that got to the ball. They had a few shots, but they were shooting from outside the box. That Anthony shooting from outside the box, well over the bar. I mean, look, you know, why did you pay £85 million for a championship player? Because I'm sorry, he's not a Premier League player. Anthony is not a Premier League player. He is absolutely diabolical. And I'm sorry, he's like Mickey. He's got to cut in with his left foot. But the difference is, Mickey is more devastating than what bloody Anthony is, that's for sure. You know, and I think he needs to go and see a decent tattooist as well for his tattoos. But, yeah, look, I didn't think Anthony was that great, in all honesty. So, you know, but we had that period of about 15 minutes where Man U were on the attack at us and they were pressing us, which you expect from the home side. They must have got a rocket up their arse off Ten Hag at half time. But then J7, Joe Linton wins the ball off Amrabat, which then falls to Willock. This is just after the hour mark. And Willock goes past the defence, past Lindelof, past Maguire with ease. No challenge on him whatsoever. And gets just outside the 18-yard box and takes a shot, and it goes straight past Onana, puts it in, makes it 3-0. And then it's like, good night, Man United. Game's over now. Let's look forward to the quarterfinals. Great strike from Willock. I thought he took his goal well. I thought the lad had a great game last night. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. And then he came off just about 30 seconds after scoring that goal, which was fair enough because that lad's now played over 100 minutes of football and he's getting his fitness up. And he's come back at the right time when we need him. And I thought that was a well-taken goal. And then, obviously, we brought on Callum, Trippier, Bruno, Byrne came on, I think, didn't he? And, we brought on some substitutes just to show things up and just to, we're 3-0 up. Callum had a shot which was blocked by the defence, went out for a corner. Goal of the night, I think, would have been Sean Longstaff had that gone in the back of the net. I mean, that was some shot. I mean, look, he curled it. It was a beautiful curling shot. And it was just inches wide. Had it gone in, I think you might have said that was probably goal of the night or even goal of the competition because that was a hell of a shot off Sean Longstaff. It was unlucky not to go in the back of the net. All in all, we could have beat these about 4 or 5-0 easily, and nobody would have batted an eyelid. We totally embarrassed them. I thought Kraft had a good game at centre half. I know the WhatsApp group I'm in, I know some people were a bit like, I'm not sure about this team. I think, I don't think we're going to do very well against Man U with this team. But you know what? I wasn't the slightest thinking, I'm worried about this team. I was thinking, no, we can beat Man U with this team. And, I didn't think it would be as convincingly, but I knew we'd beat them. And the thing is, sorry?
I was going to say I was one of the ones, but I've said it's a decent side, but we'll see what happens. It's just we just played so well. To say another mention for Emil Kraft. Towards the end, we had a free kick on the right, and it's played in, and he gets a header in, but it's a bit straight, a bit too close to Onana. But it would have been lovely for him to score after being out for so long.
Yeah. I mean, look, we know the place is toxic there. Look, Man U stats aren't great because this is the first time Man U has lost 2 consecutive games by 3-0 since 1962. So there you go. There's a bit of information for you. So in 61 years, this has happened to be Man U's worst time because it's the first time they've lost twice, 3-0 in a row. It just goes to show you how poor of a side Man United actually are. The meltdown was just absolutely fantastic. I've been watching a couple of the fan things on TV, and it's just like, you look at it and I'm just like, what do you expect? Obviously he put that team out. I mean, I know there was some fans I think it was Mark Goldbridge said he wasn't happy that he took Casemiro off at half time. I'm sorry. Look, I'm not going. Look, Casemiro is a quality player. Let's be honest. But sorry, I don't think he is this season. I think last season he was an unknown quantity in the Premier League. People didn't know how to play him. This season, they know what he's like. And I'm sorry, he's 31-year-old. You pay £60 million for a player who's on his way out. And I can see Casemiro struggling this season. What have Man U got to play for? They ain't going to get far in the Champions League because if they get beat off Copenhagen next week, they're basically out of the competition. And they've still got to play Bayern Munich as well, remember? So Harry Kane's got to come there. So what's annoyed me more though is the way the media are like, it's all about Man U. No, it's not all about Man U. Just stop for a minute and think, hang on, Newcastle put out a team last night that was a very, very depleted team. They had to play 5 full-backs. Okay, one went off very early in the first half after 2 minutes, unfortunately. What was it? But then it sort of helped us out in a way because we got Miggy on, which, I didn't want Miggy on that early, but there's nothing we can do about it. But at the end of the day, it's about time they started giving us the credit for it rather than saying, oh, well, it's all about how bad man you are. Stuff how bad man you are. Give the credit to Eddie Howe. Give the credit to the players who went out there for Newcastle last night. And a lot of people probably around the internet had us down to get beat off Man United last night. I bet the blue half in Manchester were pissing themselves laughing last night. I bet they were, you know. I bet they were absolutely loving it. Anyway, I'm going to go to some comments. Gary says meltdown on TikTok's brilliant. Gary Moore says our first goal reminded me of Brazil in 1970. Great to see Lewis Hall at left back, played some great passes through the line. Says, yeah, I thought he had a great game last night. I thought he was brilliant. Evening, Tony and Roly says, Lee, good evening, Lee. What a result. Get in there, the mighty Toon Army. 100% full credit to Eddie and the players and the fans for our 12th player last night. Absolutely, mate. Holly says, Livramento was outstanding. Yes, he was, Holly. I said 3-1, but even 3-0, get in. Yeah, absolutely. Gary says, it's getting whichever players Eddie picks in his game. Every gives 100% and 10% lads. Do you know what? Actually, I missed one player I want to mention. I want to give a special mention to. And I know it's a player that I said the other day who would start, and people were like to me, oh, no, we don't want him starting. We can't have him anywhere, any other team. This lad played 73 minutes last night, and he put in a couple of quality deliveries, one from the free kick, one from the corner. His name's Matt Ritchie. I thought he put in a great shift last night. I thought he was brilliant last night. He had that shot which went well wide, and I think he was disappointed with himself that he knocked it wide. But you know what? That lad put a shift in. He was everywhere. He was even backing up for Livramento and everything. So, look, I know some people aren't Matt Ritchie fans and, they're not wanting him in the team. But at the end of the day, that guy has been a cracking servant to our club. He was a £12 million bargain, And when you look at that team last night, we made 8 changes last night. And, and the thing is, a lot of that team last night were team from the previous regime. It was a Steve Bruce team, right? The likes of your Crafts in there and your Dummets. That was a Steve Bruce team. But the only difference is these players have been coached well by Eddie Howe. And that is a big difference. And that is why those players that might have been in a Steve Bruce team a few years ago and not quite brilliant, but last night looked absolutely world class. That's because they're being coached on a different level to what Steve Bruce coaches his teams. And do you know what? For them players to go, so if the likes of Oliver Holt, who, by the way, I know Mr. Holt, you put a tweet on yesterday and I've screenshotted it, so you can't go back on it now because I've got it, mate, before you deleted it. Now then, the likes of Oliver Holt can't be negative towards us and say, oh, well, they only won that because of the Saudi money. No, because most of that team was from the Ashley era. So, but I thought Matt Ritchie was really, really good last night. I thought he was excellent last night and he put a real shift in. That lad hasn't started a game since January. So, real well done, Matt Ritchie. John says, evening, Tony Roly. Hope you're both well. Evening, everyone. Yeah, good evening, mate. Hope you're well too. Still suffering from COVID. Drake says, I didn't realise Eddie trolled Man U. Well, if you notice with Eddie Howe, he didn't over-celebrate that match last night. And do you know why he doesn't over-celebrate? Because he doesn't want to. The reason why is he just wants it to be like, it's the norm to go out and beat the likes of Man United. That's why Eddie doesn't over-celebrate it. And that's a great mentality to have. Lee says, I think now Miggy will be playing on the left. Yeah, let's hope. I think Tino will be pushing hard for a place. This is what I said. The players that go out there and play, I think I said on my preview, the players that go out there and play, if they go out there and perform to the highest level, they've got to put a selection headache on Eddie Howe. And that's exactly what you've got to do. Gary says Miggy down the left looked like a different player. You could see he was loving it. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Craig says, interviewer, why did you bring Bruno Wilson on 3-0? How? So they could get 30 minutes training in. Steve Wraith said it would be 1-1 draw with a winning on penalty. So pleased he got that wrong, lads. Yeah. I think a lot of people were worried about the team we had out. They were petulant and definitely unprofessional, says John. Yeah. Casemiro's done. His legs have gone, says Bia. I think he's done. I don't think he's the quality player no more. That I mean, look,
It's a
you had
pale
Anthony talk.
last season.
You had Anthony at the end of the match talking to Bruno. He's probably saying to Bruno, how do I become a quality player? That's probably why he was asking Bruno, how do I improve my game? Bruno probably said, go and play for Rotherham. Trevor says, have you noticed Man U crying again for Anthony? I would have knocked him out. Hi, how are you? Oh, to Ian Fleming. New board game coming out at Christmas, how to fix a jigsaw puzzle by Man U. John says, Kraft looked as though he hadn't been away and played in a different position. Yeah, I mean, look, he'd been out for 14 months and he'd done very well. He played the whole 90. So he's got his match fitness up. My gran will be devastated against Man U, says Craig. Trevor says, did Newcastle get to buy him as he's on loan? Yes, it's an obligation to buy him. So I think it's £28 million is the fee at the end of the season. So brilliant. And the lad's not long past his GCSEs as well. On reflection, Miggy was man of the match. He ran them ragged. Did you see Maguire try and head the ball out and miss it twice with a heat that big, says Craig. Eric Ten Hag walking onto the pitch was embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, look, I have seen one Man U thing. It was on TalkSport. There was a Man U fan on there, and he said the only thing that what he said was, he says the only player he's got admiration for last night was actually Mason Mount, and he said the reason is, he says he was actually the only player who had the balls to walk around the whole pitch and clap to the fans. The rest of them just buggered off into the dressing room.
Well, that's because there was no one left in the stadium apart from us Geordies. But by the time the game finished, I've never seen Old Trafford that empty whilst the game's still going on.
Yeah. Murphy's better than Anthony, says Andrew.
Yeah, I think so.
Agree.
Even with a dislocated shoulder.
Hi, Ian Fleming. He says, great performance last night. Absolutely. Come on, I love Eddie Howe, Eric Ten Hag and all the players. Fabulous. Keep up the excellent work. It looks like he's not getting the sack quick, is it? So I think Fulham will turn them over. And the funny thing is, they've got a home game against Luton Town to come. Wouldn't surprise me if Luton turned them over. I would laugh.
Luton, of the promoted teams, are playing with the most heart and look like they've got enough more fight than the others to actually stay up.
Andrew says, Man U are a side of highly overrated, overhyped individuals, proving our transfer policy is the right way. These so-called big clubs think high fees make their players better than anyone else. You're absolutely right, Andrew. John says, it really felt as if we were playing at home. It did. Livermento class. He's easily been in the top 3 or 4 right backs in the league and he's on the bench. Yeah, well, that's the way it goes, isn't it? But Trippier's been a class act as well, so, you know. But there again, if we'd rested Trippier on Saturday and played Livermento, could we have won that game against Wolves? That's the thing. Craig says, yeah, but we beat them 5-0 and Southampton got beat them 6-3 the week after the away games, mind. So happy for Kraft, unsung hero, and Matt Ritchie should have had a statue for his service, says Gary. He's been great. Man U will win Sweet FA this season. Well, they've got the FA Cup, but they'll probably not get far in that either. Who was the 5th fullback, Hall or Ritchie? Arguably, it was 6. Well, yeah, Ritchie can play fullback, but I think it was mostly it was mostly 5 proper fullbacks that we had on the pitch. But obviously, yes, we know Ritchie can play as a fullback, but he's more of a winger. You better give United a cup of tea, as it's the only cup you'll get to hold. Yeah, Paul Dunn. Look, I think at the end of the day, Man Man, you might end up planting potatoes because at least they'll have something to lift at the end of the season. Kong's been member for 4 months. Thank you very much, Nate. I think Dummett coming into his peak now, says Beer.
He has been good, the games he's played this season.
Craig says if that was a Steve Bruce side, we'd have got humped. Good job at his side. Yeah, absolutely. Ronald says, Ari folks, yeah, absolutely fine, mate. What a win. What about Tino and Hallman? Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. Nate says, my dad passed yesterday after having a stroke on Thursday, so I needed that performance last night. I think Dad was looking after the boys. Our condolences with you, mate. Very sorry to hear that indeed. And, yeah. Yeah, very sorry to hear that, mate. Absolutely. And, yeah. But, yeah, I'm sure he looked down with pride watching that game last night. So as to hear that. What's Holt's problem with the tune, as Paul says on TTI? Is it Belen? Well, look, I'll quickly go through with what he says, and because obviously I took the screenshots yesterday, so what I did is I went on his page and I tweeted to Oliver Holt, and I just said, look, would you be free to come on my channel one day and you can DM me? So Oliver Holt replies straight away. I'm not entirely sure that would be an awful lot of fun for me, Tony, but I wish you all the best with the channel. Obviously, he doesn't want to come on because he knows he's going to be interrogated because he's got so much hate towards the tune. And I said, no problem. I says, but why are you negative towards our club when we have owners who want the best and communicate with the fans more than the previous ownership did? So then this is the thing he came back with, and then he deleted it straight away. And I just wonder why he deleted it straight away, but I've screenshotted it. So, I've got it. So anyway, this is what he says. Because the owner is a repressive nation state which criminalizes same-sex relationships, treats women as second-class citizens, hands out 30-year prison sentences for posts on Twitter, and murders journalists in cold blood. And then he deletes it. Now, that's absolutely disgusting from a journalist. How is he a journalist? I'm going to send that to the Daily Mail, and I'm going to say, how do you have a journalist like that in your ranks? Does Oliver Holt complain when he goes to watch the boxing and watches Tyson Fury and AJ and has VIP 5-star hospitality? Of course he doesn't. Does he complain about the Formula One? Does he complain about the Live Golf? Does he complain about the wrestling over there? No, of course he doesn't, because he's got an agenda against Newcastle United. That is why. The guy's a bell end, and I'm not going to give him the airtime.
I mean, to be fair, everything he said about the Saudi state is correct. But why is he just going after us? As you mentioned, all the other things that he could go after. And at the end of the day, the Saudi regime, if he's got problems with the Saudi regime, he should be harassing the government, not a football club. It's a political issue, and it's the government should sort it out, not a football club. And if the government are quite happy for us to have Saudi part owners, so be it. And when they decide not, if they decide not, like they did with the Russians and Roman Abramovich, they'll have to leave the club. So until the government does something, just button it.
And also, he's actually got his facts wrong a little bit about the women, because my friend, and a lot of people know him anyway, Roy Caviani, King of Qatar. I mean, even he's told me, he says, when you go to Saudi Arabia, he says, all you do is you see loads of women driving around everywhere, going to the shops and everything. So
they have improved their treatment of women, but Islamic states tend to have a different view to women than we in the West do.
But why is he mixing politics with sport? You don't mix politics with sport. I'm sorry. No. So at the end of the day, what they do in their country, we know what we aren't blind, we aren't stupid. We know what goes on in that country. But at the end of the day,
you can do about it.
we live in our country. We go by what our country does. They live in that country. They go by that country's rules. That's exactly what it is.
Just my last political point is: how would we're trying? He's saying that we should install our values in Saudi Arabia because they're better and morally right. But how would he like it if the Saudis were trying to install their version of morality on us?
Mm,
He wouldn't like it.
no, he wouldn't at all,
We
would he?
can try and persuade them to change, but you can't. And they are changing. It's slow, but change always is.
Mm. Good evening, Julie.
Back to football.
Yeah. She says some good, fantastic memes on social media. Absolutely. The Athletic was recently bought by an American mob. Anti-Saudi agenda comes from the Yanks. People saying sorry for your loss. Lewis says, "Well, I was not expecting that with a shit team, but at least we got the win." Yeah,
I just say a shit team.
I think he meant about Man U.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
What a moment for Lewis Hall. Absolutely. Eric Three Hag. Yeah.
And just another thing, and what a moment it was for Sean Longstar. His 150th appearance for the team, and he captained the side and almost got a screamer as well. Great performance by Sean.
Lucas says Martin Dubravka came back and haunted Man U and kept a clean sheet. Do you know what it is, right? Let's just mention. Let me just briefly mention Martin Dubravka a moment, okay? Now I'm one of these who have wanted him out the club, right? Okay, for the way he went on last year, I thought yes, he had a good game yesterday. His footwork looked absolutely brilliant. Now then, this is what I'm going to put out there. Now then, Martin Dubravka last night, does he now pose a threat to Eddie Howe? And I don't mean a threat as in like Eddie losing his job or anything like that. Does he pose a problem to Eddie Howe now that Eddie Howe's got to think, oh, hang on, does Dubravka play ahead of Pope now? Because Dubravka's footwork is spot on. And we saw him last night, he was with his distribution. Look, I think the only difference Howe likes about Pope is because Pope reads the danger and he comes out and he's like a sweeper keeper sort of thing. But does Nick Pope look at that performance last night and think, ooh, hang on, I might be under the cosh here now. Martin Dubravka's had a good game last night. Does this now pose a problem for Eddie Howe to think, oh, what do I do now? Do I carry on with Dubravka and goal, or do I play Pope back in the Premier League? And that's a good question. We'll hold that thought for now, Roly.
Yeah.
All my days of Luton beat them, yeah. Be fantastic. Oliver says a two marathon class, the media are crap. Never praise Eddie and the team. All I hear today is how bad Eric Ten Hag and Man U are. What about us? Absolutely, mate. It's exactly.
Let's just let them keep ignoring us, and we'll keep banking teams we come up against.
Do you know what?
Go under the radar, so that it takes the pressure off us if they're concentrating on the opponents.
We have the better Anthony, we have the better Bruno, and we have the better United. There you go. Enough said. Why do we always get tough draws in the cups? It's rigged. I don't think it's rigged, Lewis, but yeah.
This season we've just had. I was fully expecting us to draw Liverpool away in this round. We'll probably get them in the semi-finals if we get past Chelsea, which we should do.
Thing is, sometimes it's better to play the tough teams because then if you do win the cup, you can say, well, actually, we've had a tough round every round to play and win the cup. So, you know, I mean, look, Gary says Jamie Liverpool got a draw with West Ham. Do you know what? That's not cut and dry for Liverpool. West Ham played well last night against Arsenal, so you know I wouldn't rule anything out. And remember, next season in the League Cup, it'll only be one leg in the semi-final. The two leg ties are being taken away next season.
Okay.
They're stopping it, and they're going to just have one leg. So hopefully, if they're doing that, they'll have to play them at a neutral ground because that's unfair advantage if you got a home tie. Man U spent 411 million since last summer. Yes, Eric Ten Hag has, and yet blames the owners. Joke of a club. Yeah, absolutely. Good evening, says Mason. Good evening, mate. Hope you're well. I fancy us to beat Chelsea. Hope West Ham do Liverpool. I mean, look, we could even end up with Middlesbrough in the semi-finals, you know,
or
if
the
they
final.
beat Porfield. Or the final. It might be a Liverpool-Everton semi-final, Merseyside derby. Liverpool fans love now a victory against Man U. Yeah, they will do because they hate Man United, don't they? Vice versa. Holt is plain and purely jealous, says Ronald. Yes, he is, absolutely. Oliver Holt is an activist, not a journalist, says Bria. West Ham could do it against Liverpool's B team. I was about to say you could take that to the police. Yeah, Oliver Holt is a walk bell. I'll send it to the mail. I'm sure they'll be happy with that. Don't know what his agenda is against us. Yeah, he doesn't mind filling his car up. Exactly. Yeah, does he call the Saudis then? I doubt it, because he wants to get home. Evening all, finally home. Brilliant win last night. Bring on Chelsea, absolutely Sefton. Do you know what it is, Sefton? We've got until we play on the 19th of December. That's a Tuesday night, and 8 o'clock kick off at Stamford Bridge. He probably runs his car and rat's piss, says. Yeah, he's not complaining about filling up his car. Okay, Roly, do you want to give us your thoughts on last night's game?
Oh, I was a bit apprehensive going into the game with the side that we put out. It's partly because Emil Kraft hadn't played for 14 months. Thought Dummett had done well, did really well against Man City. So I thought it was a decent side, but I wasn't sure how we'd get on. But some of the football we played last night was just delightful to watch. Some of the one-touch passing, the movement. It's a shame to lose Target so early. There were some really nasty tackles by Hannibal, who really should have got 2 yellows. And Casemiro wasn't far behind him. But, I mean, the goals, the driving run from Tino. Let's not forget that he won the challenge by our box before sprinting down the pitch, beating players, and slipping in Miggy for a really good finish. The second one was poor header out by Maguire, straight to Hall. What terrific technique to volley it, take it on the volley, and smash it into the corner. And then again, the second half, Man U came out, had a bit of a go. Then I think it was Amrabat was dallying on the ball, and Joelinton took it off him. Willett picks it up, drives to the edge of the box, and then smashes it in the bottom corner. He said after the game that he knew it's close to the 60th minute, and he knew he was coming off then, so he thought he'd better score before he came off. But defensively, I thought we were solid. They really didn't have much of note. There's a shot before half time from Mount that was easily saved by Dubravka. Had a lot of power, but he made a really good save, pushed it well away from danger. I think they only had one other shot on target. Apparently, they actually had more captains yesterday than they had shots on target. So I think 3 of their players were captain over their 90 minutes. So they were poor. And we probably made them look worse than they were because we played so well.
Yeah.
Hats off to Eddie and the backroom team and the players on the pitch. There's so many outstanding performances. It's great. The big guns got a bit of a rest. Some of them got a little bit of a run out, so they didn't get too rusty having the week's break. And we go again against Arsenal. But the crowd was superb. And it was such a delight to see Old Trafford empty well before the final whistle.
Yeah, absolutely, Roly. Absolutely. Yeah, and we got 38 watching at the moment, so if you like to smash that like, that would be absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. It takes a couple of seconds, just give it a thumbs up. That would be fantastic. Yeah, I mean, look, Foxy makes a couple of good points as well. So, the first one is Oliver Holt knows he'll get a reaction from our fan base. It's good exposure for him. Unfortunately, our fan base take the bait every time. Yes, I can see where you're coming from on that one as well. Foxy, yes, he probably does. We probably do take the bait. But there again, why doesn't he pick on other clubs? Why just Newcastle United? That is the question. That's what we want to know. What has
Why not?
Newcastle done wrong? I mean, look, it's Amanda and Jamie Rubin and my dad who run that club. Yes, I know that the Saudis own 80%, and Yasser comes over when he can, but that's why Yasser's got all these people in place, and he relies on Amanda and Jamie and my dad to run the club and
I
do
mean,
it to the best of their ability.
I mean, if you watch the Amazon series, Yasser was saying that I'm not. If I was going to run the club, why do I need these other people here?
Yeah,
Amanda and Mirdad and Jamie. Why, if I was going to run the club, why would I need them here? And he approves the money spent,
yeah.
and he gets the last. He approves everything, but doesn't
Mm-hmm.
actually get involved with the day-to-day running, which is what the club said was going to happen.
Mm-hmm. And then Foxy goes on to say, Dubravka's been disrespected far too much from our fans. Best second choice keeper in the Premier League. He deserves a chance in the league at some point. I mean, yes, do you know what? I totally get where you're coming from on that, Foxy, and I totally agree, mate, because he does deserve a chance now. It was further up um, in the comments. I can't remember where it is now. I'll have a look for it anyway. I think it was David who said it. No, it wasn't. It was Craig Lee. He said, "If he drops Pope, will that not destroy his confidence?"
I think it'll go on who performs better in training. I think the thing with Pope, it's better sweeper keeper. His distribution is good when he throws the ball out. His kicking's not great, and it varies from being shite to okay, but you can never tell until he actually kicks the ball which one it's going to be.
Yeah.
So he does need to work on that. I'm sure he is.
Coffee says, "Hi, Tony, Roly, and all. Good evening, Coffee. Hope you're well." Poor Coffee didn't get to bed late last night because obviously waiting for that draw coming out.
Yeah.
I thought the second was a straight red, says Craig Lee, sorry. Yeah, absolutely, mate, definitely.
The one on the
Craft.
craft. Yeah, that's a nasty challenge.
If there was VAR, that would have been looked at. Coffee says Dubravka's distribution was impressive last night. Mm. I love the chant. You've seen it. Yeah, absolutely. It's brilliant, Ronald, isn't it? Maybe if there was VAR, there's no VAR in that until the semis. Yeah. What was the referee like, says Sefton? Rob Jones? I thought he was all right, actually. He ref the game okay, I thought.
I think after those, the yellow cards from Casemiro and Hannibal, when they had their other challenges, he told them to calm down. They did. And I thought they were lucky to stay on. But overall, I thought he handled the game pretty well.
I felt Maguire should have been booked when he got in the ref's face as well. Slaphead should have been booked.
But they don't tend to do that, really, unless they say something extremely...
Yeah, but Roly, this happened last season at Man United. Remember
when
Ronaldo scored and he was offside and the whole of them surrounded the referee? They should have all been booked.
Yeah, I'm not saying they shouldn't be booked. I'm just saying it doesn't tend to happen.
El Capo, hi mate, hope you're well. He says Manu couldn't beat a Geordie Shaw 11. Never mind the Geordie boys. Absolutely. I spent the whole game watching a Man U fan rants, says Coffee.
I watched one of the Man U fan reactions, and they did say that, well, never mind the Newcastle B team, they couldn't beat Geordie Shaw.
Yeah. Sai says away. Livermento won the ball and went forward and getting assist around me of a young Cafu. I honestly think that kid's going to be a star. He is. Absolutely, mate. And I know there were some fans a bit doubting it because he'd been out with an ACL, but I tell you what, he looks some player. Like most games, we have to win regardless of the officials.
I was doubting his price rather than his ability, but I should have trusted the club. They know what they're doing.
Splat says the tune was smooth and crisp and well organised. Absolutely, mate. And hello to you, mate. Lee says, can see Botman back for the Champions League match. I'm not sure. Game, I don't know. All we're hoping for, though, what we are hoping for is, at the weekend, it's El Clasica in the Bundesliga because it's Bayern Munich versus Borussia Dortmund. So let's hope Kane and his pals can absolutely smash Dortmund to bits on Saturday. Maybe knock a couple of players out for us as well, and
Then
you
their
know,
confidence.
and knock their confidence because when we go there next week, they won't enjoy it then, will they?
I don't think they'll enjoy it anyway.
No. Tino's a future legend, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Coffee says Oliver Holt should change his profession from journalism to online troll. Sefton agrees with him. Agrees with Coffee as well. So does Ian. Um, he was next to him by. Alan says, team 10 out of 10 for performance. Absolutely, Alan. Yeah. Pope is the all-round superior keeper. Julie says, I was the one who wanted Dubravka out. Now I think he was a spy. Yeah. Yeah, him and Hall are still young. Just watch when they hit their peak, says John. Absolutely. That's why Chelsea fans were up in arms when they got rid of Lewis Hall and they're happy. I don't think Man U will get relegated, says Coffee.
No.
Anyone know who Oliver Holt supports? I don't know who he supports. I'm not sure. It's a London team, I think. I'm sure it's Arsenal, but I'm not sure. Might be wrong. Stockport County. No, but it's fun watching them slide down the league, absolutely. I think Fulham will turn them over. I really do. That's what I don't understand. If it's a Premier League stadium, we may as well use the system we already do. I think it's just different with it being the Cups, Lewis. Craig says Hannibal is a Robbie Savage with a perm. I'd have decked him for that second challenge. I mean, look, did you see the way Hannibal Lecter went on in the second half? I know people are laughing because I'm saying Hannibal Lecter. But look, the second half he done a tackle or something, and did you see him? He tried to do what Bruno does when he gets the crowd whipped up, and I thought you've just copied what our Bruno does and our I am Anthony Gordon. Ollie
Talking of
Holland,
Bruno, I
Coronation Street
thought,
actress
what,
Eileen Derbyshire. Is he?
just talking about Bruno's for a second, what a mature performance he put in when he came on. It's almost like he's playing happy rather than angry at the moment.
Hey?
Bruno, it's not our Bruno, that is. He's playing happy, and it's a really mature performance. No silly challenges, no niggles, no nothing. It's
Yeah.
almost like he's at ease with himself. He looks so much better for it.
Yeah. Lee, you're on about Alice. Yes, she did give us a lot of credit. Yes, she does. She talks a lot of sense. That's why. At least she's honest about her team.
Oh yeah, yes, it's got a very good podcast.
I watched the Man U videos yesterday and they were funny. Says Ian, Flying Pig smashed up your studio. Yeah, Alice great. She loves the tune. Yeah, Craig's put it in the chat there. Have a look. Arsenal, I think, says Craig. Yeah, I thought it was as well. I watched him smash his lasses cup, says Foxy says Bayern should be on it at the weekend. They've just been knocked out the cup by third division Saarbrücken, but I bet they didn't play its full strength team though. There's only one Bruno. Absolutely. Kane's scoring for fun now. He is, Julie. He is. He's absolutely scoring for fun. And look at the goal he scored from just before the halfway line. It was just like watching Beckham again. That's the quality of Harry Kane. And yes, he might be probably the highest paid player at Bayern Munich. But I tell you what, they're getting their money's worth, that's for sure. And he's just proven he can go to another league and still score goals. Like Jude Bellingham's gone to Real Madrid and proved that English players can go to Real Madrid and succeed. Foxy says Miggy's celebration was probably something to do about him getting a 6-month driving ban. Yeah, I mean, look, right. So, anyway, so we know yesterday, look, this lad got man of the match, and he was man of the match in that Tino Livramento. I mean, look, he had a great game yesterday. There he is showing off his man of the match award inside the Man United tunnel. I thought he was terrific yesterday, and it's backed up by stats as well on there as well. 90 minutes played, 47 touches, 9 duels won, 5 tackles, 4 recoveries, 2 clearances, and 2 take-ons.
Assist as well.
Yeah, but look at that. The one assist that's in the middle, yeah. But that's what you call a right back. And I mean, look, Trippier even made him go to the front and get the accolation off the fans because that's how good a player this lad is, you know. Um, but he was absolutely terrific last night. As I say, the whole team were terrific. If I had to pick out a man of the match, then obviously, if it was man of the match, then yes, Livramento is definitely man of the match last night, without a doubt. Although everybody played bloody well, they were all men of the match. But yeah, if I had to pick one out, it was Livramento. Just ahead of Hall, mind, because I thought Hall had a cracking game. As I say, Richie had a great game as well. Considering people say, "Oh, Richie's legs have gone," he still had a great game last night, Richie. But yeah, I thought they were brilliant last night.
Yeah, maybe.
What about you, Roly? Who was your man of the match?
I think it's Tino, really, because he set up the win with that, with setting up the opening goal.
Yeah,
Once we took the lead, we never looked like we were going to lose it.
no,
The lots of players that play. I thought Joe Willett was immense when he was on.
yeah,
Took his goal really well. Miggy was superb. I thought Longstaff with his normal self, which means you don't notice him, but he was
yes,
there. But he had that cracking shot, which looked like it was going in, but just inches wide. I thought Lewis Hall was superb. Craft and were really good. I mean, literally everybody. J7. I don't think anybody played badly. I mean, it's though Tino was the man of the match, and rightly so.
yeah,
But everyone else pushed him really close.
yeah, absolutely, Roly. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Um, I mean, look, that's 2 games in a row he's played in the Carabao Cup. Livermore being man of the match twice. It's just,
I think his only problem is that he's got Kieran Trippier in front of him.
mm,
It's arguably been our player of the season. It's between him and Anthony Gordon, who've been the best player this season.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think what Miggy was doing was saying Newcastle are in the driving seat, lads. Well deserved, many more to come. Yeah. 2 starts, 2 man the match. Tino man the match, says Coffee against Man U and 1 London club so far. Tino 2 starts, 2 man the match, I say no more. Ronald says Tino as well. John says special mention for Crafty considering how long he's been out. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Fantastic. Even Dummett had a good game.
yeah.
Tino for me played well, even though people said we wanted rid of Dummett in the summer, but we had to keep him and good job we did keep him. You'll need bigger pockets in them shorts soon. Garnacho and Grealish are in there already. Joe Linton was a contender for man of the match. He was back to his best, and Emil Kraft was amazing considering how long he's been out for since June.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Kraft coming in after 14 months out is putting in a flawless performance. Yeah. Even the Chronicle gave most players 9s and 10s. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Mighty Mag, even in old Tony, you can see Pope back on Saturday. Dubs must be in. Well, I know that's a thing, isn't it? It's hard. No, I think it's Pope anyway. I think Liv and Hall are stars in the making, yeah. And just remember, I don't think there's any Odegaard for Arsenal on Saturday because he's injured.
Did he get injured last night?
No, not last night. He's been injured for a couple of weeks now, I think.
It came on last night.
Did he?
He got Arsenal goal. Let me just check. I think he got Arsenal's goal.
Oh, well, maybe he's battling. Oh, well, I thought you were still out. I didn't know.
Yeah, he got Arsenal's goal in stoppage time yesterday.
We're on collision course with Liverpool in the final. Eddie said the Dummett had a place. Yeah. Good evening, Brian. Tino man the match from me. Coffee says I think they will rig the semi-finals to give Liverpool an easy final. Been here since the start. Just haven't said hi yet. Big up all hi to you, Brian. Hi. John says I reckon Pope is straight back and he's definitely Eddie's number 1. Yeah, absolutely. What's the situation with Target? The only disappointment there looks like a hamstring, Foxy, doesn't it? We don't know any more on that, but I'm sure the club will tell us. But again, it's not great. It's another injury, isn't it? So
It
but
looked like a bad one because of the way he was thumping the ground.
yeah, and he wasn't. You could see he wasn't happy when he came off, so you can't blame him. But yeah, I mean, look, absolutely fantastic. We'll go to Chelsea in the next round, which isn't a hard game away because Chelsea haven't played that well. They had to put out. They even put out a full strength team Chelsea last night, similar
Yeah.
team to what they played on Saturday, just to go and beat Blackburn Rovers. That shows you how much Chelsea were frightened of Blackburn last night. You know, I'm looking forward to watching the game later. Says Sefton. Gary says the goalkeeper has another headache for Eddie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian says Roly. Did you just give me a comment, Rose? I don't know. Unless he's talking to somebody in the chat. Look, the serious one, the way he looked. Dubravka looked more confident in goal, says Coffee. Yeah, he did.
Well, it didn't have much
Um, he
for
didn't have a
one.
lot to do. No, not really, not really. Um, okay, guys, if I've got 36 in the chat, so if you haven't yet smashed that like, please do smash that like. It just takes 1 second, so just smash it. Thank you very much. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, come and smash the subscribe. Come join this fantastic community. And that bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows as well. Oh, it's a joke. Okay. Lee says, I think we need 3 players in the new year, maybe a loan and buy some. I think we definitely probably need another centre half in, that's for sure. There is talk of a striker as well that we're looking at from Brazil. So again, we'll just have to wait and see. Sefton says, are you feeling any better, Tony? Don't feel too bad, but I'm still testing positive. So it looks like I'm taking the full week off work this week, and I won't be back to work till Monday now. Imagine if we use some loopholes and sign all the best players from the Saudi Pro League. Well, yeah, Neves is touted to come in on loan, isn't he, as well? And he wants to do it as well, apparently. Old Trafford is falling down, says Lewis. Yeah, they are. Um, so, guys and girls, we are coming to the end of this show. But it's been a great show. And what has been a fantastic night last night and a great win, considering we put our C team out there, if you want to put it that way. Some people call it a C team. I just call it with fringe players. They've gone out there, they've done the job. They took Man United to task. And yeah, absolutely. Julie says, smash the like button like we smashed Man United. Thank you very much, Julie. Yeah. And Roly, do you want to let people know where they can find you before we go?
Yeah, I'm on the former Twitter at Pols67.
Thank you very much indeed, Roly. So yeah, so there we have it, guys. So we will do a preview for the Arsenal game, and then obviously we'll have the pre-match on Saturday for Arsenal as usual. So it should be a good game, and I don't think Arsenal will look forward to come to St James's Park, not after getting walloped off West Ham last night. Bye, Tony, Roly, and all. Bye to you, Coffee.
Bye, Coffee.
Great show, lads. Good night. Take care. Good night, all. Cheers, John. Thank you very much. Excellent show, guys. The Splat. Cheers, Splat. See you again, mate. A lot of Man U fans were in meltdown the past 24 hours. They're going to continue to be. Julie says, great show as always. Thanks, Julie. Ian says, great show, guys. Cheers, Ian. Thanks very much. And I know Paul's got a show on at 7 o'clock on TTR. So I will join in and watch that as well. A match review. So that should be interesting to see what Paul, Alex, and Billy made of last night's game. And by the way, I watched. I'd had a little look at Paul's watch along, and I like he does a little jingle now when the team score. He puts up, it comes
Yes,
up on screen, Paul, and it plays a little tune. It's funny. Good night.
Might wear out because we keep scoring so much.
Yeah, he's going to wear it out. Ron says John Sinclair's upload the Tune supporters cheered on Man U, done a little chant. Yeah, I did see that. By the way, talking about John, actually, yeah, I did see a tweet John put out today, and I support John on this tweet. Actually, by the way, somebody's had a dig at him, asking why is he going to the match if he's videoing at the match. Look, at the end of the day, we all have our channels. If we go to the match, obviously we would do things like that video, which is something you naturally do anyway. And it's not just John. All podcasters do it. Look, at the end of the day, all John's doing is he's taking footage, and you know, at the end of the day, he's entitled to take footage, put it on his channel. That's exactly what he wants to do. I don't see the problem in it whatsoever. John's paid for his ticket to go to the match, so at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, John's done no wrong. It's just trolls that are on Twitter that have just got sad little lives and just need to just rein it in a bit. But
Well,
I
I
just
just
thought
want
I
to
would just mention that
say
anyway.
on John, his vlogs are actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
I do like his vlogs.
Yeah.
Have a look at those.
Coffee says John's been talking a lot on Twitter from the same accounts that I've been talking a lot of your UFC YouTubers. Yeah, absolutely, Coffee. I have seen that as well. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, on what was a great night last night, it's we've got to look forward to Saturday now in the Premier League, and yes, it'll be a full strength team. I mean, look,
It's Arsenal.
yeah, I mean, can you imagine if we had a full strength team out there last night against Man United? Would we have knocked them 8-0 against like we did with Sheffield United? Who knows? But who knows? But anyway, the reserves or the fringe players, whatever you want to call them, they've done the job and they've done the job absolutely spot on and perfect. And Ronald hasn't been on X today. Anyway, remember the future's bright. The future is black and white. It's bye bye from me.
Bye from me.
Away the lads.